Here's a simple reason why more marketing may not be the answer that's going to fix your business. See, I work with companies a lot and I work with business owners one on one. And one of the things they realize is, hey, I need more marketing. They kind of read that and hear that over and over again. They feel like if their business has hit a stagnant point where it's not growing, or if it's declining, they immediately think, I need more marketing. That isn't necessarily always the best answer. It isn't a bad answer, but it may not be the best answer. You see, many times there's something inside the business that's preventing that business from growing. And many times as well, the business owner is just too close to it to see exactly what that problem is. Now, I'll use this analogy. For well over 20 years, I owned and operated a home inspection company. You know the type. You buy a house, you have somebody go in it, make sure it's fine. Then if there's issues you want fixed, you negotiate. You know the deal. That's what I did for over 20 years. And I saw the same patterns over and over and over again. Take, for example, somebody finds a house from the 1950s or 1960s. Now, thanks to all of the shows about flipping houses over the past 20 years, I mean, pretty much everybody thought they could be a flipper. They could buy a house, they call it a fixer-upper. They go through and put some stuff on it and then sell it and then make a bunch of profit. Well, it works on television, so they figured they would do it for themselves too. Now, what they would do is they would buy it, of course. They knew they had a lot of work to do to it. They put on shingles, a fresh coat of paint. They put in floor covering. They do appliances, a new kitchen, a new air conditioner and heat system. That's all basically what I call lipstick and rouge. Because when I would go there and somebody would hire me, they're going to buy the place. They would hire me for the inspection. I would go in and find significant foundation issues. I would find major structure issues in the roof, in the walls, in the floors. I would find major plumbing issues that they didn't catch. I would find wiring issues. I mean, I would see wiring that was knob and tube wiring still active. And that's been out for 50 years, man. So my point there is they never actually looked at the house internally to see what the house needs. They just immediately jumped to, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to make this much money. They never actually looked at the house to find out what's going to be best for them as well. Half the time, they could have done half the work cosmetically and made more money if they would have fixed the structure issues. So how's that, play into doing a business inspection as well? It's the exact same thing. When I work with a business owner, they're thinking, I need more marketing simply because somebody came to their office or to their inbox via email or at social or in Google, and they like, hey, I'm selling these packages of SEO. I'm selling Facebook ads. I'm selling Google ads. I'm selling, marketing services for Google My Business. I mean, there's all these different things and they're all good, but I wouldn't necessarily start there. See, you can go to your advertising agency in town and say, hey, I have XYZ company and I need more clients. You know what they won't do? They won't inspect your business to find out what you actually need. They're going to sell you a package based on how much money you have. That sounds terrible, but that's how it works. They're going to have, a package A, package B, package C, and they're going to be different cost. And it's not like the packages are bad, but they don't know if the packages are what you really need. They're just saying, hey, I have a customer coming in. They say they need more clients. I'm going to run Facebook ads. I'm going to do these kind of digital marketing, and I'm going to do SEO, and I'm going to have billboards all across their county. You get the idea. That would be similar to you calling an air conditioner company and saying, hey, it's like July and my house is warm. And they come in, don't look at anything. They just simply say, well, what you need is a new air conditioner. And I can install one for you for the tune of $7,000. That's what happens when you go right to an ad company. They just want to sell you ads. What do they not do? They don't inspect your business to find out what you actually need, because sometimes, you know what? I digress. Let me back up. Most of the times, you can actually increase your business 10, 20, 30, 50% or more without increasing advertising costs by simply using what you already have, There are things you already have in your business you may not be most efficient at, but you don't know. Like when a lead comes in, how long does it take for you to follow up, to close that lead? What's that system like? What's your system like to bring in the leads in general? What's your follow-up like when the leads are there? What's your system like after you close the deal, you've done your work, everything's done? What do you do with that client afterwards? What do you have for a reactivation campaign? What bottlenecks do you have in your business in general that you really can't fix with more ads? You see, if you're losing, let's say, 20% of your leads, but don't know why, your people are clicking on the ad, you're advertising, people are clicking on the ad. I mean, they are actually opting into whatever, but 20% of them disappear, and you don't know why. Well, what if you could fix, let's say, instead of 20% of them disappear, let's say only 5% of them go away. Now you just increased your ad by 15% and you didn't do anything different by bringing in more ads. You just fixed where the problem was. Tracking? That's what a business inspection's for. A person, I'm not going to come in there and tell you, hey, you need this kind of coaching package, you need this kind of consulting package, you need to run this kind of ad. You don't know what you need. It's like going to a doctor and you're ill. They don't just start giving you pills. They're at least going to take your temperature. I mean, I know that might be a bad analogy. Nowadays, doctors do kind of just popping pills. It's for everything nowadays. But you get the point. You go to a doctor because you're ill. You may have strep throat, but they won't know until they do a little bit of an inspection and find out, oh, yeah, okay, I see what's going on. You got strep. Here's a prescription for antibiotics. You tracking? So now with your business, yeah, you can be stagnant at 1 million a year and you haven't grown past that in 3 years. You're like, for crying out loud, man. I'm running the ads, I'm doing the socials, I've got the videos, I got organic, I've got all kinds of stuff happening, but I'm not growing. I'm totally stressed out. It just stop. It doesn't need to be that way. You can very simply just look at what's coming in and say, okay, what am I doing to get business in? How is every facet of my business working? And if that's not something you're prepared or equipped to do, then you have a person like myself come in and do a business inspection and find out all these facets of your business and how they're operating. From there, we can find out, hey, you know what? It looks like your lead generation, mechanism isn't pulling in the right clients. What if you're getting all kinds of interest in whatever it is you're offering online, but when it comes down to it, you're targeting the wrong people? What if the people who are actually clicking the ad aren't the people who are likely to buy? What's your messaging like? Do you have a USP, a unique selling proposition? What makes you different from everybody else in the business? There are all kinds of questions we go through and ask before we ever diagnose anything. So that's why kind of my mantra when I talk to folks is before you spend another dime in advertising, look to see if you're fixing the right thing. Maybe you need a third party to come in, do an inspection to find out what you actually need, and then give you a list of your highest priorities for growth. And hey, if you did this, if you had a USB, if you fixed your follow up, if you had, an ad in general, because right now your ads aren't pulling anything. You can all kinds of fixes for things, but you won't really know until you dive into your business, do an inspection on it, see what's working, see what isn't, then find out the things that aren't working and prioritize those, from highest priority to lowest, from a scale from, 1 to 5 or however many you find, and then just go through and fix each one of those. And your business can actually grow 10, 20, 30, 50% or more without ever increasing the advertising cost. If I can assist you in that, there's a link below where you can schedule your own business inspection and we'll find out what actually is the holdup and the bottleneck in your business. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.